I'm already regretting this video. Hey there everyone, it's me, Elmoviemaster. So as promised, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my Laserdisc collection. So if you're not familiar with Laserdisc, Laserdisc was a format that was introduced in the 80s, and it wasn't that popular. It was popular with people who were movie collectors and movie aficionados who had the money to buy these discs, because I'm sure right now, if you go to a thrift store, you'll find these for $1 or $2. And sometimes they're even giving them away, because I've gotten some of these as gifts. And back in the day, they were not $1 or $2. They were $35, $45, $50 a Laserdisc. I remember as a kid in the 90s going to a video store with my folks and seeing the display, and I thought they were amazing. The covers were beautiful. And that was the DVD of the time. This was like, I want to say, when I saw these, it was probably 95, 96. DVD would have been introduced 1 year later. But I remember they were expensive. They were really expensive. So, but these I got for a pretty good price. And some of these were given to me as a gift. Like this one. This one was given to me by a friend who went to Japan. And he knows how much I love Steven Seagal. And this is On Deadly Ground. The covers on these are great. They're beautiful. And the thing with these movies is, if you're not familiar with the Laserdisc format, you wouldn't just put a disc. You would have to flip the disc to watch the rest of the movie. They would put like the first hour on one disc and the other hour on the other side of the disc. By the end of the format, they started releasing players that had like a dual laser system where you could watch the movie without having to get up. You wouldn't have to get up, and it would just, flip the laser, and you would just, have a slight interruption, and you can continue watching the rest of the movie. But sometimes the movie wasn't just on one disc. Sometimes it was on 3 discs, if you had like a 3-hour movie. So yeah, this is On Deadly Ground. I have here Superman 2. It's funny because, little thing about Superman 2, I'm probably in the minority that likes the theatrical cut of the movie more than the Richard Donner cut. The Richard Donner cut is a really nice what if, and I would have loved to have seen what Richard Donner would have done had he not been fired by the guys who produced the Superman movies. I forget their names. I don't remember their names. But, yeah, this is a really nice Laserdisc. This one I got from a video store that, well, it's no longer a video store. Now it's like a comic book / toy action figure shop. But back in the day, they used to sell Laserdiscs, and they just transformed the store into a comic book shop. But I got this for a pretty decent price. But this probably went for a good amount of money back in the day. But yeah, with Superman 2, what I was going to say was that I know a lot of people don't like the cheesiness that appears in Superman 2. A lot of it's contributed to what Richard Lester put into that movie. But it feels more like a complete film versus what they did with the Richard Donner cut. I do like a lot of the scenes in the Richard Donner cut, but again, they don't feel like a complete movie. It feels like a what if. So, what do we have here? Ombre. I haven't seen this, but I have this because I like westerns. I don't know how much I paid for this. But if you look over here, the price is $49.99. That's insane. That's really insane. So, what do we have here? Working Girl. It's a pretty good movie with Harrison Ford. They don't really make movies like this anymore. This is like a drama. Has a Melanie Griffith and Sigourney Weaver. Unlawful Entry with Ray Liotta. This is like a home invasion movie. It's basically a guy who befriends a cop, and the cop is kind of like a stalker. Well, he's actually not kind of, he really is a stalker. And, they can't really call the police because their friend is a cop. So if they call, guess who's going to show up. So, and there's stuff like that happens in the movie. Kind of reminds me of a movie they ended up doing later called Lakeview Terrace. Kind of like that. But Unlawful Entry did it first. Under Siege 2. I have a friend who loves this movie and says it's an unintentional comedy. And sure, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that's unintentionally funny. But I like this movie. non-ironically, I think this movie's better than the first one. It's so entertaining. It's probably one of the better Die Hard rip-offs. It even says it here, Die Hard on a Train. So, yeah. White Sands, I don't know what this is. I don't know when I bought this. Probably considered one of the worst sequels ever. Highlander 2, The Quickening. It says $5 here, but I didn't pay that. Yeah, this sequel, the thing with the Highlander movies is that they put themselves in the pickle. The first movie ends with him becoming like the one, he gets the quickening and he becomes like the only immortal left. There can be only one. So they made a sequel. They should have done a prequel, instead of doing a sequel. And I actually prefer also the theatrical cut over the Renegade version or the special edition version. Because they just made it more complicated than it actually is. But what I was going to say was, if you want to know more about Highlander 2, if you do get a special edition, there's a really good documentary which shows the troubled production this movie had, because it was super expensive. It was shot in Argentina, and it has really nice locations where they shot. Speaking of Highlander, Highlander 1. Probably the best one of the franchise, with the exception of the TV series. I like the TV series. Yeah, and the score by Queen is amazing. I've seen the transfers on some of these, and they look slightly better than the VHS. They don't look super amazing. I'm pretty sure at the time they did, but, most DVDs looked 20 times better. One of the best horror movies, actually probably the best horror movie, The Exorcist. Love this cover. This movie still holds up. Here we have, excuse, that's like a truck that's passing by. Okay, so Psycho 4 with Anthony Perkins. This is a really good movie. The funny thing about the Psycho movies is the only franchise where each sequel got progressively better. Unlike other franchises like Friday the 13th, Halloween, they kept doing kind of the same thing. With the Psycho movies, they actually always tried doing something different. And that's what I really, really liked about this particular franchise. I haven't seen Bates Motel, which is the TV show that was released a few years back. But Psycho 4 is really good. This one is both a sequel and a prequel because it gives you a backstory to Norman Bates as how he became the person that he is. I like this one. Speaking of Psycho, here we have Psycho 3. Really like this cover. This one was directed by Anthony Perkins, I believe. Yeah, I think he directed this one. Yep, directed by Anthony Perkins. Good sequel. I don't know what this is. The Chinatown Murders. Nice cover, though. And this one is really nice. This is Psycho, but it comes like in this neat little box set. And if you open it, this is what I meant about having multiple discs. So you would watch the movie on one side, and on another side. Then you're not done there. Wait, there's more. You would watch it here, then over here. Then you watch it here, and then over here. Then, once you're done, if you had some time, you would grab this and you would start reading the behind the scenes. Because, there was no special features on these discs. You had to read the behind the scenes. So, yeah, really nice stuff. It's a shame that they weren't cheaper. I understand the production on these, cost money to make. So, sorry about the siren. So, Psycho 2, like this cover also. This was released 22 years later after the first movie. And it's one of those rare sequels that, I'm not saying it's better than Psycho 1, but it's a worthy sequel. Because most sequels that were released so far after the first one are typically cash grabs and not very good. But this one is a rare exception. Another Seagal movie, Hard to Kill. I really like this one. I like most Seagal movies. The first 5 are great, Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Alfred Justice, Under Siege. Those are classics. Everything else, it started getting pretty bad. This is the one where he says, "I'm going to take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank." Yep. Michael Keaton in One Good Cop. I have not seen this one. If anybody knows, let me know. This is Far From the Madding Crowd. I have no clue. But this one, whoop, opens up. Would you look at that? Here we have 3 Days of the Condor. Haven't seen this one yet, but it looks interesting. Another Seagal classic. Well, not classic. This one is really bad, but it's funny. On Deadly Ground. This is his one and only directorial debut, where he plays a Native American stopping these bad guys who are polluting the earth with an oil rig. Seagal himself said that he was ahead of his time, that Al Gore took the Nobel Peace Prize for the exact same film. Sure, Stephen. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. This movie's pretty bad, I know, but Christopher Reeve, to me, is the definitive Superman. As much as I do like, the other actors who've played Superman since, Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve is the definitive Superman. And as cheesy as a lot of this stuff is, I like it. I've seen the transfer on that. It looks better than the VHS. Here we have Supergirl. Supergirl is probably, in my opinion, worse than Superman 4. It's really, really bonkers. Here we have Seven. No, I'm sorry. From the director of Seven, The Game. Seven I really like. The Game, I think it's okay. I thought the twist at the end was whatever. I know a lot of people like this movie. David Fincher's a good director. And this is a widescreen THX Laserdisc, so, this is like super transferred. Not really. I've seen the transfer on that. It looks alright. The problem with a lot of their widescreens is that they're letterbox. They're not anamorphic. Oh, this movie. Ooh, this brings back memories. I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. This movie is super, super fun. The plot on this movie is ridiculous, but it's basically an alien. Stick with me. An alien comes to Earth, and he's not just an alien. He's a drug dealer, and he takes a certain part of the human body. I don't remember what it was. It's liquid, and he uses it to take back home because they use it as a drug, and only Dolph Lundgren can stop him. Ridiculous, super 80s, super cheesy, but boy is it fun. This movie's available now on Blu-ray, I believe, under the title of Dark Angel. Here we have If Looks Could Kill, Richard Grieco. This is a pretty good movie. It's a spoof of a James Bond movie. Whatever happens to Richard Grieco, very of its time. Basically, it's a kid who gets mistaken for a secret agent somehow, and but who cares? He gets to use a car with a bunch of gadgets. Soundtrack is really good. It's super fun. I used to watch this movie a lot with my dad. Yeah, oh my god. Oh, here we have Damien Omen 2. Jesus, the price on this. It was going for $49.98. I don't know if you can see that there, but it says $49.98 for Damien Omen 2. A lot of people, I remember reading years ago when I used to go on this website called tvguide.com as a kid, that the sequel was so bad that they were laughing at some of the scenes, specifically this scene where the lady is getting attacked by the crow. I think this is a really good sequel. And speaking of The Omen, here's the original. Original price of $34.98. Really nice stuff. Here we have classic 80s movie, and this is a really iconic cover, E.T. This cover, is so iconic that this became the logo for Amblin Entertainment. This movie still holds up. The 1982 version, not the remastered version that they did later on. Here we have two great horror movies. Hellraiser and Hellbound Hellraiser 2. We have such pleasures to show you. That's my terrible Pinhead impersonation. These two movies are really good, especially part 2. I like part 2 more than part 1. And to think I resisted. So, this one is the unrated version. I don't know if it's any different from the ones that they released afterwards. Because I personally like the first 3. After that, they got pretty bad. So, and I did like one that they did recently called Hellraiser Judgment. But the first 3 are really good. A Father's Revenge. No clue. Oh, here we have some special ones. I'm going to show these at the end. Another Omen movie, The Final Conflict. I don't know why this always gripe me, like, putting The Final Conflict. Why can't you just put Omen 3, The Final Conflict? And I think they fixed that for the DVD. And I know a lot of people don't like when they do that, like when they did Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. There, I didn't like it. But here, in the third film, like, let's say someone's picking this up. What's this final conflict? Who is, what's Samuel doing here? It's like, I don't know. But anyway, good movie. Here we have another copy of Under Siege 2. And here's a Japanese Laserdisc of Under Siege. I got this as a gift. A friend of mine went to Japan, got me this. This looks really nice. I actually prefer this cover over the original one. It's really, really cool. Some of the Japanese covers on movies, even VHS and DVD, are sometimes even better than the theatrical ones. It's kind of like with the Pokemon cards. I always like the pocket monsters versus the Pokemon ones. Like, if you had like a Japanese holographic of Charizard, ooh. But if you had the pocket monster one, woohoo! All the President's Men. I haven't seen this one yet. And here we have Alfred Justice. Really nice cover. I would probably frame this one. That's the one where he goes, "Has anybody seen Richie? I'm not going to leave until someone remembers seeing Richie." That was a terrible impersonation. The Boys from Brazil. I really like this movie. Not the price though. $44.98. Ooh, that's really expensive. No, I really like this movie. It has the score by the same guy who did the score for The Omen, Jerry Goldsmith. And it almost feels like it would fit in an Omen universe. The way it's shot, the performance by Gregory Peck and Laurence Olivier. But basically the plot of this movie is, what if they cloned Hitler? Not one or two, but 20, 30 of them. And it's a good movie. This, if you can come across it, I believe it's not available on Blu-ray in the US, but there's an all regions version of it on Blu-ray. So yeah, The Boys from Brazil. Here we have a double feature, The Fly and Return of the Fly. Really nice stuff. I used to watch these movies back in the day. They just had this thing called Monster Fest on AMC. I don't know why I did that. They would show a bunch of like 50s and 60s horror movies with no interruptions back when AMC was more like a Turner Classic Movie channel. Now I think all they show is The Walking Dead. Superman 3. I like this movie. I like this cover with Richard Pryor in it. It's funny how Richard Pryor went on a Johnny Carson interview and he said he wanted to be in a Superman movie, and voila, he appeared in the Superman movie. So it's a shame that both Christopher Reeve and Richard Pryor are no longer with us. Two great talents. And the other Hellraiser movie that I like, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. This is the unrated version also. This sequel is probably a worthy sequel to the original Exorcist, and that's Exorcist 3. I usually only watch Exorcist 1 and 3. Very good stuff. I would love to get the new Blu-ray version, but I have this dumb rule where I don't like double dipping. You know, if I get it as a gift, you know, okay, but I don't like going out of my way to pick up another title that I already have. Unless there's like really, really good special features and it's a fair price. So, yep, here we have one of my favorite Steven Seagal movies, his first movie, Above the Law. Really like this cover. The trailer for this movie is pretty hilarious. He has family in the mafia. Nico Toscani. Superman, the movie. It's hilarious how Marlon Brando was paid like almost $2 million back in 1978 when this movie was made. And this guy could not even memorize his lines. He had people holding cue cards to remember his lines. He said, you know, that's how he worked. He tried making a BS excuse. What a troll. Favorite movie of mine from Harrison Ford, Frantic. Really good movie, directed by Roman Polanski. I know we're not supposed to talk now about certain directors because they're canceled. I understand. What he did is, you know, unforgivable, and I'm probably someone who I can separate the art from the creator. You know, he directed some amazing movies like Rosemary's Baby, The Pianist, Frantic, and the score in this movie is done by Ennio Morricone, which is magnificent. This movie makes me feel like I'm in France. You know, it's so well done. This kind of kicked off the movies that Harrison Ford did during the 90s, where it's like, where's my family? Where's my wife? And Liam Neeson ended up replacing him with the Taken movies, where it's kind of like, where's my wife? Where's my family? Only difference is that he has a military past. He has a particular set of skills. Again, I don't know why I did that. Police Story, one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies. And here we have The Crying Game. I haven't opened this one yet. Good movie. A lot of people said they couldn't believe the twist. I saw it coming from a mile away. So now the special ones, the creme of the crop, what everyone has been waiting for. Star Wars on Laserdisc. The theatrical versions on widescreen. The ones that George Lucas doesn't want you to see because, you know, you have to see the special editions and whatever. I like these. I watch these every now and then. And of course, the transfer is not Blu-ray. And hopefully one day they'll release officially the Blu-ray movies unaltered. So here we have them. The price on these is crazy. It's crazy. $59.95. I did not pay that for these movies, but these include interviews with George Lucas, and man, these 3 movies are perfect. They're great. And I like the prequels. The sequel trilogy, it's a mesh, you know. I like some of them, but anyway. So those are the Laserdisc movies that I own. I do have some others, but they're not worth mentioning. They're just some other random titles. I thought these were the ones that I thought were worth mentioning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys collect Laserdisc, let me know what are some of the favorite movies that you own on Laserdisc. So anyway, guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please give it a like because that helps with the YouTube algorithm so people can see the video. And that's how the YouTube, you know, AI works. You know, the more thumbs up you give, the more people will see the video. Share it with your friends. If you have any friends who collect Laserdisc, maybe they'll enjoy this video. Guys, thank you so much. And I also wanted to mention, I didn't get a chance to mention this in my other 2 videos. Thank you so much for helping me reach to over 1,000 subscribers. I'm shocked, you know, for someone who hasn't been very consistent with videos. And one day I'll explain in detail why I have not been so consistent with my videos. Like I've been gone for 6 months, and it's a personal problem that's been happening in my life, and it has been hard to get in front of a camera. And when I'm ready, I will talk about it. But for now, you'll be seeing more videos. You know, stay tuned. Every Friday, there's going to be a video up. You know, so with interesting stuff about movies. And yes, you'll get a chance to see my collection. And yes, you'll get to see more stuff of my videos. So, but once again, thank you so much for helping me reach to 1,000 subscribers. I hope to reach to more, you know, who knows. Make sure to also check the second channel, which will be on the comment section down below, which is Dumbed Down. I just did a recent brand new video on Bruce Willis, where I talk about the fact that he just doesn't care about his movies anymore. He makes a lot of direct-to-video movies that are not very good. But at one point, I really, really loved his movies. You know, Die Hard, Striking Distance, just classic movies that he used to do that he sadly no longer makes. But check out that video. I'm going to also leave it on the comment section down below for you to watch, so you can see the second channel that I do with a friend of mine. Anyway, guys, now I'm going to say goodbye. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out. Take care.